Hello, everybody. Welcome to St. Francis High School, Brother Fisher Field in Ron Calcagno Stadium for tonight's Holy War between the visiting Bellarmine Bells and the home team, St. Francis High School. I am Paul Cunningham, joined by Mike Messner, and a big contest here tonight, Mike.
Well, this is going to be one for the ages, Paul. We're talking about two teams coming off recent wins. The Bells coming off a defeat of Sacred Heart last Friday, and the Lancers shutting out Archbishop Reardon 35-0 last Saturday. Bellarmine undefeated on the road, St. Francis undefeated at home. So this is going to be one truly for the ages. I'm excited, and I hope everybody out there is too.
You got your WCAL standings there too, with Sarah on top at 5-0, St. Francis 4-1, Bellarmine at 2-3 in WCAL play. But when these two teams get together, you can typically just ignore the season records because this is a rivalry that dates back many years, Mike.
Yeah, we're looking at pushing 7 decades now, Paul, that these two teams have been going at it. This is one that people who followed either of those two schools, they always look forward to seeing what's going to happen. And as you and I were talking about, anything can happen in these games, and it usually does.
All
right. We wanted to thank our sponsor, Altos Mobile Massage. Massage can change your mental and physical state and inspire you to give power and energy to solutions. Altos Mobile Massage brings the massage to you. Sometimes a little pressure is a good thing.
So Bellarmine won the toss, and they deferred. And St. Francis has chosen to kick. So we are just about to get underway here as the captains clear the field and the teams will come out with their special teams.
Well, you know, we hear a lot about the St. Francis offense, but one thing we don't hear a whole lot about in the media is the Lancer defense. And so it's going to be interesting to see how they are fresh out of the gate.
And the Bellarmine offense historically has been one of trying to deceive the other team. They play a very tight offense, but a very quick hitting, quick striking offense, not knowing exactly which way they're going to go with the ball. They can be very confusing to a defense, and we'll see what comes out tonight, see how well the Lancers are prepared for it.
We're going to see how the Bells operate on defense also, Paul. They're operating out of a rather unusual formation. It's a 3-3, so they have one less person in their secondary, but that means they're going to be tough against the pass because they'll have one other person in on those receivers. So the cornerbacking core will be something to watch from Bellarmine.
Going deep to receive for the Bells, Tyson Garcia, number 3, and number 20, Austin Ajeke. As the Lancers prepare to kick off, the referee whistles it in. Number 25, Alessandro Maiulo, is the kicker for the Lancers, and he launches one high into the night and into the end zone for an automatic touchback. The Bells will come out, set up shop, first and 10 at their own 20-yard line.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see how well they execute. Everything in high school football is really about execution. But if you look at the standings, or not the standings, but the statistics, Bellarmine only tends to score about 6 points in the first quarter. The Lancers tend to score 11 or 12. So we'll see if those teams keep consistent with their scoring levels.
We're going to find out very shortly here. Jack Devine leads them out. Devine out of the shotgun to start the game. Tough snap, but he's able to handle it, falls on it, and the Bells maintain control of the ball, but lose about 3 on the play.
Boy, they were fortunate to hold onto that one at all.
Actually, about 8 on the play. We'll see where they spot it.
Yeah, that snap was, I think he was looking for the opposite goalpost there.
Yeah. Nice job by Devine just to tip it up and then come down with it, as if that had gone over his head. It could have been a mad dash to see who's going to get there first. So it'll be second down and 17, an inauspicious start for the Bells, whichever word you want to use there.
Mm-hmm.
Devine again out of the shotgun. Looks to his left, throws to his left, and incomplete. Intended out towards the sideline for his running back, Austin Ajeke.
That was solid coverage with the Lancers, but I also don't think he really got set up to pass that. And actually, I think that might have gotten tipped a little bit.
Looked like at the line maybe there was a little tip on it, but Ajeke unable to come up with it. It was an errant pass, brings up a 3rd down and 17 for the Bells. They are back on their own 13-yard line. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left for the Bells.
If the Bells go 3 and out on this one, Paul, it's going to be a real shot in the arm for the St. Francis squad, and they'll have pretty good field position if they force Bellarmine to kick it.
Yeah, because the Bells will have to kick close to their own end zone and should give the Lancers some pretty good field position if they can hold them here. The Bells are an explosive team. They're going to run for it and break it through the initial line of scrimmage. Nice run there up through the middle on a direct snap to Ajeke. Ajeke gets back to the original line of scrimmage, which is the 20, brings up a punting situation.
That was a nice penetration there by their running back. He did get tripped up there a little bit, but if he had been able to get over that little obstacle there, he might have been off to the races, and we might not have a 3 and out here.
Maurice Wilmer, high snap again, but the punt is away. It's a shank off the right side of the kicker's foot. Gets out over just over the 30-yard line, so maybe a 10-yard gain on the punt.
I'm wondering if St. Francis might have gotten a piece of that one.
We'll see. We'll see.
Boy, we talk about good field position. I didn't think it'd be that good.
Wow, it only got out to the 28-yard line, so an 8-yard punt for the Bells sets the Lancers up very nicely here. As Reed Vettel goes under center. Give to Darrell Page. Darrell Page fights for some yardage and maybe gets a yard. We'll see what it is. Good job by the Bellarmine defense.
Darrell Page is one we're going to be watching all night. I mean, he is the leading rusher for the game, leading rusher on the team, and he is the leading ground gainer of all players on the St. Francis squad.
They certainly keyed on him on that play. Brings up a 2nd down and 10. He really didn't get anything on the play. Lancers stay in the I formation. Vettel under center. Give to Page again. Page again met right near the line of scrimmage.
No, nothing doing.
Got a head of steam going, but boy, he just got thrown backwards by that Bellarmine defense.
I think that might have been Dylan Andrews who was there on the stop, Paul.
Picked up a yard on the play. It'll be 3rd down and 9. And see what the Lancers do here on this play as Reed Vettel runs to the sideline and gets the play from Coach Greg Calcagno.
Page is still on the field, so I don't know if they're going to stick to that ground game, but if they're trying to get that many yards, I don't know that I'd do it.
Vettel to throw, throws out in the flat, complete underneath, a 1st down and a little bit more. The completion to Junior Fehoko, the fullback out of the backfield, and Fehoko gets down to the 11-yard line.
Rolling out, he's looking to his right and just made a really nice little shot there. It went out to the flat, as you said, and I believe that's Brandon Blumenlag who got the stop there for the Bells.
So it'll be 1st down and 10 for the Lancers at the Bellarmine 12-yard line. Lancers break the huddle.
Lining up on the right hash. That's unusual so far.
Give to Page, and Page is tripped up, almost ran into his fullback and kind of went down. And a loss on the play.
Yeah, that's got to be disappointing.
Back it up to the 14-yard line.
I think a loss of 2 on that one, Paul.
Yes, it'll be a 2nd down and 12 from the 14-yard line as the Lancers break the huddle. The give to Fangupo up the middle, and Fangupo gets inside the 10 as he gets down close to the 6 or 7 yard line.
That was a great dive into the line. We haven't seen that from the Lancers so far too much tonight, but the offensive line absolutely did their job. They made the hole for their running back, and he snuck right through it.
See if the Lancers go to the left side on this to try it. If they don't get the first, they want to square up for a field goal. They give up the middle again to Fangupo, and nothing doing. The Bells completely shut that down. It'll bring up a 4th down, and the field goal team is coming onto the field. This is going to be a tough field goal from this hash side, the right hash mark.
Well, I don't know how much time they've spent in the film room, but the Bells were never fooled on that. I mean, they were there right from the very beginning, and I think there's a Lancer player who's slow to get up. Oh, no, that's the holder.
Alessandro Maiuolo for the field goal. It will be a 25-yard attempt, but from the right hash mark. Snap, spot, kick is up, and the kick is no good. That right hash mark, that is a tough kick for a right-footed kicker, and it is no good. The ball will go over to the Bells, so the Lancers squander an opportunity there with excellent field position, and they come away empty-handed, and that will jack up the Bellarmine Bells on a fine defensive stand there.
Well, that kind of sets the tone. We knew that these two teams were both confident. They both have good records given where they are tonight. So I think the fact that both defenses stopped the other offenses, I think that's out of great respect for both of these defensive squads.
So 1st down and 10 for the Bells, once again at their own 20-yard line. Devine comes out in the shotgun. Devine to pass, has time, throws out in the flat, complete to his running back, JK, and he picks up some yardage. We'll see where they spot it. Another look at it.
Well, they're coming out of a 3-receiver set, another high snap there. He managed to get it off, and almost a swing pass there. He wasn't going for huge amounts of penetration down the field. Almost lost his balance there, but he does make the pass there to JK.
And with that deep drop, it looked like a longer pass than it was. It only picked up 2 yards, so it's 2nd down and 8 for the Bells.
Goodness, might as well have been a swing pass there.
Now they're out of the, appears to be a wildcat formation as a JK takes it himself and gets up to the 25-yard line. So a JK took the direct snap, got out to the 25-yard line. It'll bring up a 3rd down and 5.
It'll be interesting to see how the Bells try to convert this one, Paul.
Yeah.
There is Jack Devine coming in. Got some advice from his coach, got a new play. We're going to see what they're going to do here.
So far exclusively out of the shotgun. They've got 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. 3rd down and 5 from the 25-yard line. Devine has a looks right, throws right over the middle, and incomplete, in and out of the hands of his intended receiver, Anthony Magri. Falls incomplete, brings up a 4th down in a punting situation.
Oh, and that's a shame because Magri was running a really nice crossing route on that. The timing was good, the protection was good, the catcher just wasn't there, and he'd found a nice little place underneath the secondary. That would have been a beautiful play had he been able to pull it off.
Maurice Wilmer deep to receive for the Lancers. He stands right around midfield. Little high snap again. Punt is away. Better punt, much better punt. And Wilmer will get out of the way and let it roll. It's taking a bell roll and continues down inside the 35. It'll be down at the 33-yard line where St. Francis will set up 1st and 10 at their own 33.
So now we're going to see what their offense is like playing out of their own territory.
5:09 to go here in the 1st quarter. Still no score. Both teams kind of feeling each other out to see where they can do, what they can move on, what they can't move on. But both defenses extremely stingy at this point in time, and definitely the Bellarmine Bells are keen on number 10, Darrell Page, for the Lancers, as he's been able to get nothing going so far on offense. He's the tailback in the I formation. 3-step drop throw out into the flat is complete for the Lancers. And pushed out of bounds is number 16, Maurice Wilmer, inside Bellarmine territory. Another look.
Good protection there. Might have gotten a little bit tipped. It wasn't a perfect spiral, but he did make the reception. Had some nice run after the catch, and I think he tried to do a toe dance there on the left sideline. Forced out of bounds.
Got down to the Bellarmine 46-yard line. First down for the Lancers. 2 receivers split out to the right. I formation, as always, for the Lancers. Give to Page. Page tries to get to the outside, tries to find a hole, gives a straight arm, another straight arm, but is finally dragged down after he picks up maybe a couple of yards. Looks like he's inside the 45, close to the 44.
Yeah, he may have gotten as far as the 43, and he did have some good stamina there on that run, Paul. You can tell that he was just trying to turn the corner on that. He didn't get very far once the Bells got him.
No, good pursuit by the Bells to go ahead and string the play out. They never allowed him to turn upfield, and as such, he picked up a couple of yards. It is 2nd down and 8 for the Lancers at the 44-yard line. Fake. Vettel has it. Vettel throws deep downfield, has a man, but overthrows him as his receiver goes out onto the track, knocking down one spectator, vaulting a photographer.
And I believe that was Andrew Tikhani there on the coverage. No, I beg your pardon, that was Tyson Garcia on the coverage, and he was...
Nice job by Wilmer to vault one person, but then ran over somebody on the track.
Yeah, and Garcia was just wrapped all over him.
So a 3rd down and 8 for the Lancers. 4 minutes, 13 seconds to go here in the first quarter.
You can hear this crowd getting into it, Paul.
Yeah, it's a good-sized crowd here tonight. They're surrounding the field, and the Bells jump. The flags fly. We'll see if they were drawn or if they simply jumped on the cadence.
No, I have a feeling they jumped.
And indeed they did. So offsides against the Bells, they'll march off 5 yards. A break for the Lancers brings it down to the 39-yard line. It brings up a 3rd and 3, which is much more manageable than a 3rd and 8.
Well, let's see what St. Francis can do with this. The last time they had this kind of penetration into Bellarmine territory, they came up empty. They did have to try to settle for a field goal, and even that didn't come through for them.
So Vettel under center. Bells show blitz. They come, and Vettel's in trouble, and down he goes. And they're going to rule him down. There's some discussion of a fumble, especially here in the box. We're up here in the booth, but it'll bring up a 4th down. Another look at it.
Number 8 was just never fooled right there. Saw it was coming. And the offensive line, I think, took a play off on that one, and they are going to pay for it dearly. And it would appear that he lost the football.
But they did. They ruled him down, and it's a 4th down at the 46-yard line. Punting situation for the Lancers. Punt is away, a high punt that will drop. The Bells will let it roll. It's inside the 5, and oh boy, down right at the 1-yard line.
Oh,
great coverage by the Lancers. They played that beautifully, as it took a heck of a roll for the Lancers, and they had almost a safety sneaking around, coming around behind there from the outside to just stand there and play shortstop to make sure it didn't get into the end zone, and it worked out perfectly. So the Bells come out. If it was a day game, we'd say they were in the shadows of their own goalpost, but it's nighttime. But they're still right near their own goalpost.
Well, they're in the shadows of the St. Francis High School academic classrooms is what they are.
Yes, they are. And the big tree they have at the end of the end zone. Pitch into the end zone, but coming out of the end zone, trying to get there. Boy, that is close.
I think he might have made it back to the line of scrimmage.
He did get back to the line of scrimmage. I believe it was a JK, the ball carrier, and boy, they pitched it into the end zone to him, and he just got back to the original line of scrimmage. So second down, they're actually going to say he lost a yard. He must have been down at the 2 because it's now at the 1. It's 2nd and 11.
Well, the Lancers smell blood on this, so if they try to keep going to the run game, they may be paying for it.
Well, they're in a tight formation now, and a give up the middle, trying to get away from the end zone, almost playing now to get some room for their punter as they get out to the 4-yard line. It'll bring up a 3rd down and about 8. Pickup of 3 on the play.
You know, we've seen situations, Paul, where the teams don't communicate well with their sidelines, but the Bells are not taking any chances with that. We've seen Divine back and forth from the sideline trying to get all of the strategy from his coaches.
Both of these quarterbacks go to their side. They're going to try to get to the outside of Jay, trying to break free. He is ankle tackled, but not before he gets out very close. It is a 1st down. He gets out to the 13-yard line.
Let's see that again. So again, the handoff. Plenty of traffic, but he just blew right by it. Was ankle tackled there right before, and if he hadn't been there, I think he might have made it all the way to midfield.
Yeah, boy, he was going to break that for a big one. They got that ankle tackle and just brought him down. A nice run by a JK brings up a 1st down at the 13-yard line of the Lancers. Of the Bells. Divine back out of the shotgun, gives on a draw play to a JK. He gets out over the 15-yard line, out close to the 18. We'll see where they spot it. It is at the 18. It'll bring up a 2nd down and 5 for the Bells.
Well, we'll see if they're going to go to the air at this point. We were talking about giving them room for their punter. Well, they certainly don't need that now. Let's see how versatile and how multidimensional this offense is.
Tight formation, the pitch, and the run out to the 20-yard line. Pickup of a couple on the play. It's like the ball carrier was Tyson Garcia.
I don't know that they're going to try to get another playoff before the quarter ends, Paul.
Yeah, quarter's winding down, 20 seconds to go in the quarter, and now the Bellarmine coaches are saying, yeah, hang on, just come on over. We're going to let the quarter out. So that will do it for the first quarter of play. Bellarmine St. Francis, they are tied at 0.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate. It's worn like a
shot of some of the crowd here for Bellarmine watching the game. Cheering section as always. It'll be a 3rd down and 3 for Bellarmine as they switched ends of the field.
Yeah, well, you know, if you're a football nerd, Paul, this has got to be a little disappointing because we're not seeing a whole lot of scoring from either team so far.
The fake to the outside and then the run up the middle is going to be close, but I believe he's going to be short. As Jack Devine called his own number. It'll bring up a 4th down and short, and a decision to be made by the Bellarmine coaching staff, and the wise decision is to punt, and that's exactly what they're doing. As you don't want to give the Lancers the ball.
You know, Paul, the interesting thing that I started to say is that the Lancers usually score about 11 points in the first quarter. The Bells score 6. Well, if you're a football nerd, you got to be disappointed because there's no points on the board whatsoever.
And shows two well-matched teams going out. Another bad punt that gets shanked off the side of the foot, goes out of bounds It'll be spotted inside, just inside the 40-yard line.
One thing that I've noticed so far from the Bellarmine offense, Paul, is that their center seems to be shooting a little high on his snaps, and it almost has gotten away at least once.
Kind of throwing off the timing of the punter for the Bells. There was a flag on the sideline, and it's a flag for Bellarmine to back up on the sidelines. I don't know if they're going to march really anything off on it. I think they're just warning both teams to make sure that they're staying off of the white portion of the playing field so the officials have room to move. So they're just backing them up.
Well, you got to make room for the chain gang. You don't know what down it is, do you?
Exactly. So it's spotted at the Bellarmine 40-yard line. It'll be first down and 10 for the Lancers. Vettel under center. Give to Page. Page has a little bit of a hole, tries to kick to the outside, but a nice job of ankle tackling, getting in there by the Bells. He only picks up a couple of yards. It'll bring up a second down and 8.
That's Nick Del Biagio on the stop there, and he's a big guy, 6'2", 245. He's a senior, so this may be the last time he faces the Lancers. He wants to leave an impression.
So far he is. Second and 8 as the Lancers break the huddle. Very tight formation by the Lancers this time, too, with double tight ends. They are wide across the line, trying to open up a hole for Page. He gets to the outside. He's inside the 30. There's a flag down, I believe. We'll see what that's all about.
And it's in the backfield, so I'm wondering what is going on with that.
Has another look at it.
Yep. Might have been an unsportsmanlike there. I'm not positive. It is against the Lancers, though.
It's a crackback block. Oh, against the Bells.
Oh.
Wow.
Well, they were headed back to what appeared to be their original line of scrimmage, but...
All right. Hit below the knees and a personal foul. So that will be marched off against Bellarmine, and it'll be from the end of the play. He had gotten down to the 25. They're going to march it down to the 12-yard line.
Costly penalty by the Bells.
Wow.
And as we've said before, Paul, a personal foul never goes unpunished.
No. First down and 10 for the Lancers at the 12. 10:26 to go in the first half. A big break for the Lancers.
And you notice, Paul, that they're now lining up on the right side of the field, farther from us.
Yeah.
Whereas the first part of that series, they were lining up on the near side.
Multiple tight end formation again for the Lancers, just going man-on-man, power against power. Page tries to kick to the outside again, throws one tackler aside, then's forced out of bounds, looks like down around the 10-yard line, maybe inside the 10 at the 9. We'll see exactly where they spot it.
I think forward progress might get him into the 9, but let's take a look at that again. So a handoff to Page one more time. He's being very patient before he gets to turn the corner. Finally, he gets swamped out, and he was frustrated. He thought if he had just had one more step on the guy, he would have been running to daylight.
So it is a second down and 8. The ball spotted at just inside the 10-yard line. Give up the middle, and pickup of maybe 2 more. We'll see who the ball carrier was. That wasn't Page. He was only in for one play. I believe it was number 31, Lucas Andrighetto.
That would make sense.
Pickup of 3, third down and 5.
Well, let's see if they can capitalize on this. They haven't had good luck with field goals so far tonight.
Well, and again, you want to see if they go towards the left side of the line to get into field goal position. They give to the fullback, number 11, Opeti Fangupo, and Fangupo keeps it on that hash mark, picks up maybe a yard, and now they got another tough angle on the field goal. A little surprised they're not trying to go to that left side of the line. If they don't get the first, at least get the ball into the center of the field to make it easier on your kicker. Another tough angle for the kicker.
Yeah, and Fangupo, 5'10", 230, and the Bells just wrapped him up. So not the gain that their coaches were looking for.
A 23-yard attempt. Snap, spot, kick is up. The kick is good, and this time able to put it through are the Lancers, and they take a 3-0 lead. 8 minutes and 14 seconds to go in the first half. The Lancers in the lead, 3-0.
Lancer Mania.
Devine out of the shotgun. Fakes, and Devine takes it himself, tries to get up the middle, and excuse me, that wasn't Devine, as he does not have the ball. Looks like it was a direct snap again. We'll see who it went to. I am guessing it was Tyson Garcia. And Garcia picks up maybe half a yard. It'll virtually be 2nd down and 10.
That's
so
interesting.
On that play.
I didn't think they'd go to the Wildcat this far in their territory, but they tried it, and I don't know how much it paid off for them.
Out of the huddle again. This time Devine in the backfield. Has time, throws out to his right, and a little high and in and out of the hands of Magri for a 3rd down and 10.
I think that might be the 2nd time that they've tried to get one to Magri and didn't get away with it on that one.
It's a little bit high. I mean, it looks like he's open. They're getting him the ball in the right area. It's just a little bit high and over the outstretched hand. So
it's making me wonder if the Bells aren't just a little bit nervous that they haven't really been able to develop a rhythm, not only in their offensive functioning with the snap, but also the connections between the receivers and the quarterback. They need to settle down a little bit more.
Good point. Snap to Devine, back to pass again. Now in trouble. Now he's going to scramble and run for it. He's got a big hole up the middle. He's got the 1st down and much more. He breaks free, comes around the outside. The Lancers after him and knock him down right around the 48-yard line. A nice play by Jack Devine as the middle opened up like the parting of the Red Sea. And up the middle he went.
You got to admire his versatility on that. Doing his checking down, can't see anything, and he tucks and runs. And St. Francis was just not ready for the speed that he brings. I mean, look at Devine getting past that secondary. Finally got him just as he was out on the flat, right about midfield. And that may be the longest gain of all game so far.
Between both teams, that's the biggest one of the game. So it'll bring up a 1st and 10. For the Lancers, for the Bells, are at their own 48-yard line.
Jack Devine, 5'10", 170. Don't need to be big to be fast. We proved that tonight.
Tight formation now again for the Bells. They go with the double wing to give to Garcia. Garcia kicks it to the outside, straightens up a Lancer tackler and able to pick up about 5 yards on the play. As he lowered his shoulder and went right into the tackler. Actually, a pickup of about 6. It'll be 2nd down and 4 for the Bells.
You know, Garcia, I think, is probably every bit as fast as Devine is, because Garcia has had to play not only running back, but he's a cornerback on this team also. And if you don't have the speed, you won't be able to be a good quarterback, particularly not a press quarterback, which is what the Bells use from time to time.
Stay with their tight formation, still out of the shotgun though. Devine looks to, and then down he goes. I believe they came out of the Wildcat. Let's see if that was, or was that Devine? That was Devine, and he
Devine's
gets up
hurt.
limping. He's got a hitch in his giddy up, but he's heading over to get the next play.
That's the technical term for it,
yes,
Paul.
that is a medical. it's semi-Latin, hitch in the giddy up.
Dr. Callahan to the rescue.
Okay, that's right. Tape an aspirin tablet to his forehead. He'll be fine. So a 3rd down and 6, we'll call it 7 for the Bells.
I'm not sure if Devine ever really had control of that one, to be honest with you.
And now a timeout called, probably just to give Devine a little more time to get his wits back about him. So breaking the action, 5:14 to go in the first half. Lancers in the lead, 3-0. Third down and 7 for the Bells as they break the huddle. They're at the St. Francis 48-yard line. Pine looks, sets up a screen wide open. First down and more, nice straight arm, and then down the sideline. Blumenlage dives for the end zone, and he is in for the touchdown. The Bellarmine Bells on a screen pass on the right side. Blumenlage stiffed our, nice run.
Yep. You notice that they had 2 or 3 setbacks in there. Okay. Really just a screen. If there was a screen pass, he didn't seem to have a whole lot of blockers in front of him, but then he just let his speed take over. And the St. Francis secondary had no answer for that. They tried to stop him right before he got to the goal line. Let's see it from another angle. The Lancers were just fooled on that one on every stage of the game.
The extra point by the Bells. Snap, spot, kick is up, and the kick is blocked. So a big, big play by the Lancers on special teams to go ahead and block that kick and keep the score at 6-3. So another break in the action. 5 minutes to go here in the first half. It is Bellarmine 6, St. Francis 3. I hate cutting off the beaver, but we had to because we're coming back with the kickoff.
Mrs. Cleaver will have something to say to you,
She's going to
Paul.
be talking about, I'm going to get an email nasty email from Mrs. Cleaver. No doubt about that.
Hey, I think you might get a telegram considering when it was filmed.
Lancers very short on this kick, so it's a squib kick. They must have saw something coming or done a great scouting job at running backwards for the Lancers. And then coming back the other way with a head of steam is Malik Johnson, and Johnson pushed out of bounds. They're going to spot it right around the 36-yard line, I believe. Let's see where it is. So Malik, the 37, Malik Johnson started going the wrong way with it, kind of heading back towards his own end zone, and then reversed back and made a nice gain out of it.
Yeah, well, what showed his versatility on that one. And that's what you got to have if you're going to be returning kicks, particularly squib kicks like that. You got to be able to adjust to all the situations. So he realized an alley was closing, so he turned around the other way. Are we walking it back?
We are, as often happens when you reverse course. It puts your blockers in a precarious situation, and clearly the Lancers did something on the return that backed it up, and it's going to push the Lancers all the way back to the 17-yard line.
That's got to be frustrating for the Lancers after a return like that.
4 minutes and 52 seconds to go here in the first half. Vettel under center. Single back behind him as Page. Page tries to get to the outside, and he's caught behind the line of scrimmage. Still fighting and still going backwards. And Darrell Page is pushed back inside the 10, back to around. We'll see where they give forward progress. Looks like they're going to put it at the 9.
Well, the Bells were just like a group of mastiffs on that. Yeah, let's see that one again. You can see that they were looking for Page to be running this entire show, and they sniffed it out, and by the time they'd touched him the first time, they were just all over him there.
It was like a pack of wolves.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
So it is 2nd down and 18 for the Lancers. They're back on their 9-yard line. And Vettel out of the shotgun for the first time tonight. Has it, has time, throws downfield, complete. And he's down at around the 19-yard line. Looks like they'll spot it.
Well, the thing that impresses me about that, Paul, is that it's showing that this St. Francis offense is not one-dimensional. They're not just relying on Darrell Page. They can throw at the air, too. And Page, I think, was a little bit surprised that he didn't get the ball on that play.
3rd down and 9 for the Lancers. And we'll see if they come out in the shotgun again. And it looks like they are. Vettel with Page joining him in the backfield.
4 wide receivers on this one, Paul.
2 on each side. Vettel has it. Throws over the middle to Page. Page has some room. Page has the 1st down and more. Page has some room to run. Gets to the outside. Almost an ankle tackle. Cuts it back. Over the 50. Over the 45. Down close to the 41. Where Page is finally pushed out of bounds. And that was pretty much all Darrell Page on that play once he got the ball. Take another look.
And then, so he can catch and he can run. We knew he could run anyway, but he just saw daylight, and the Bells were just really caught with their pants down on that. When they finally do get him, you're going to see right here, that's Anthony Magri, and he just had to bulldog him to get out of bounds, which gives you an idea of the kind of tenaciousness or tenacity that Darrell Page has.
1st and 10. The give, I believe, to Andrighetto. Andrighetto fights for some extra yards. The scrum continues to move forward, and Andrighetto turns about a 3-yard gain into about a 7-yard gain.
Boy, those legs just kept going, even with the pile that he had there. He must have had 4 or 5 men hanging off
It
of
was
him.
Lucas Andrighetto, and he picked up 4 just by pushing the pile forward. He had the initial 3, so it's a 2nd down and 3 for the Lancers. They're down on the Bellarmine 33-yard line.
Andrighetto will be one to watch. He's graduating this year, so wherever he ends up, they're going to have a prize on their hands.
Give up the middle to the fullback.
I think that was Nicholas Robinson who had the ball there.
It was. Good call. So Robinson, the upback, picks up the 1st down, getting down to the 29-yard line. So the Lancers substituting in on their running backs, too, to keep everybody fresh. And it's working on this drive. Page is back in the game as the tailback. Fake throw down the field towards the end zone. A catch, and into the end zone go the Lancers. Maurice Wilmer with the touchdown pass, a perfectly thrown ball by Reed Vettel. And the Lancers are in the end zone.
What a tremendous connection there. Throwing into traffic, or I didn't really think there was going to be that might have been a 3 flies up kind of thing coming up. He senses the pressure, but he stays firm in the pocket. And we lost it there, but he did come down with it. And Wilmer does have the 6 points for the Lancers.
Maiuolo on for the extra point. Snap, spot, kick is up, and the kick is good. A break in the action, 1:44 to go in the 1st half, with the Lancers in the lead, 10-6.
My name is Blake. I received a heart transplant when I was 2 weeks old. I play defense for the Red Hot Tornadoes. Sometimes my heart starts pounding like fast.
Kick off.
And always keep your water.
Maiuolo to kick off for the Lancers.
Now this is a lot more consistent what we've seen in the past, Paul. The Lancers usually score 9 points in the 2nd quarter, the Bells 4 points. So this is looking a lot more like the matchup we were expecting.
Short kick, well, not short. It was driven down to the 5-yard line and touched by the Bells by Tyson Garcia. He can't hang on to it, and the ball goes out of bounds at the 2-yard line.
And there's a flag on the play there,
We'll
Paul.
see what it's all about. See if they're going to make him kick again, or the flag is way down here, so I'm not sure what the call is.
It was, I believe it was against the Lancers, but I don't know what they're going to be doing. I didn't see what the infraction was.
It was a procedure call against the Lancers, and what a break for the Bells as Tyson Garcia had bobbled the ball, and it went out of bounds at the 2-yard line, but because of the penalty on the Lancers, it comes out to the 35.
Well, that's one that the Lancers coaches are going to be talking to that team about at halftime. That's Greg Calcagno. That's got to be one of his worst nightmares right there. Because now what you're doing is you're allowing the Bells to hang around with less than 2 minutes left in the half.
See what they do here with 1:44 to go in the first half. Devine out of the shotgun. Drops back, has time, throws, incomplete. As his intended receiver had fallen down. Looks like it was Noah Lane.
That was Noah Lane.
So he's second down and 10. Now if you're the Bells, you wonder if they're going to at least maybe run the ball here and try to just get to halftime trailing 10-6.
Well, I'm wondering if they're going to try to run it so that they don't leave any time on the clock for the Lancers, but then they might try to get the 3 so they're within 1 point headed into the locker room.
Well, that'd be ideal.
Well, I think ideal would be they get 7.
Yeah, exactly. They throw out into the flat, and the Lancers converge on it, a loss of yardage on the play. And the Lancers may take a timeout here to go ahead and stop the clock. In fact, Bellarmine takes a timeout, which is a little surprising.
Actually, I wasn't surprised by that because they have to figure out what they're going to be doing with this minute and a half. Are they going to try to just eat it up, or are they going to try to get some more points on the board?
So a break in the action, 1:29 to go in the half. The Bells call timeout. They trail 10-6. And the Bells break the huddle. You see them coming up to the line of scrimmage. They face a 3rd down and 11 as they come in after their timeout. They're at their own 34-yard line. Devine to pass. Throws deep downfield. Up and intercepted by the Lancers. And down on the play. There's a flag on the play also. But it looks like he's just it just fell out of his pocket. So he's putting it right back in. The Lancers have the ball at their own 38-yard line.
If I'm not mistaken, that was Evan Williams, the strong safety, number 32, who got the pick there, which is exactly what Bellarmine didn't want to do. So, if anything, they wanted to play keep away from the Lancers, and now they've given St. Francis a chance to get a bigger lead headed into the locker room at halftime.
That's why I was surprised they took that timeout after that 3rd down play, or 2nd down play, to bring up the 3rd down. So it'll be 1st down for the Lancers. They have all 3 of their timeouts, and they're at the their own 38-yard line. See if they can get themselves down into field goal position and ideally into the end zone.
I'm not sure that Devine should have thrown that ball at all. And if he did, he shouldn't have thrown it into double coverage, which is what they were looking at right there.
Exactly. Vettel out of the shotgun. The Lancers look to throw. 3 receivers to the right. They throw right. Complete at the 40. A little slip down, and the Bells converge on that. They take advantage of the receiver slipping. And a pickup of about 3 yards on the play, maybe 4. And the Lancers will take a timeout. So a break in the action with 1:01 to go in the first half. St. Francis in the lead 10-6. 2nd down and 6 for the Lancers as they come right out to the line of scrimmage. 2 running backs with Vettel in the backfield.
And 2 wide receivers on the near side.
Vettel with the give to Page. Page trying to get to the outside and turn the corner. He does, and he's pushed out of bounds at the 43-yard line of Bellarmine. A 1st down for the Lancers. He gets out of bounds with 53 seconds to go in the half.
Well, not only that, they've stopped the clock now, so it gives them a chance to get recombobulated so they can figure out what they're going to be doing because they have less than a minute now left in the half.
Lancers quickly get the play into the huddle. 53 seconds to go. Lancers break huddle. Still have 2 timeouts left also. Vettel out of the shotgun. Darrell Page in the backfield with him. A late arriving receiver comes trotting in. That's Maurice Wilmer. He'll move out to the left. 2 receivers to the left, 2 to the right. Vettel has it, throws out in the flat, complete. and immediately tackled as a receiver, but not before. Looks like he has the first down. It's very close.
That's good coverage. I don't think the cornerback there, I think the cornerbacks might have been playing off the line a little bit. So they did manage to get the completion there, but he's made some yards. So I don't know if he's going to be called for the, no, he did get the first down, and I think they've called another timeout.
They have. The receiver was Nick Duran. They called the timeout. Talking to the great Calcani, Coach Calcanio is coming out. So a break in the action, 46 seconds to go here in the first half, 10-6, St. Francis. Shot of the Lancers coming out of the timeout as they come back to the line of scrimmage. They have a first down. Ball is spotted at the 33-yard line of the Bellarmine Bells. 45.9 seconds to go. The Lancers have one more timeout remaining here in the first half. Vettel out of the shotgun, two receivers to the left, two to the right. Vettel looks left. Vettel throws left deep towards the end zone. Has a man and he's bumped in the end zone. No flag. It's ruled an uncatchable ball, and
yeah, I think he just overthrew him on that one. There was some contact there, but I don't think it would have made any difference in any case.
I don't think he was going to catch that ball. So a good non-call by the official brings up a second down and 10.
I think both teams have one timeout left, Paul.
They do. They do. I don't foresee Bellarmine calling one at this point.
No, I can't see any reason why they would, unless they get the ball back.
Unless they get the ball back, exactly. So the Lancers break the huddle. Same formation. Two receivers left, two right. Page is in the backfield with Vettel. Vettel has time, throws over the middle, and incomplete almost.
That was in and out of the hands of Jonathan Hale there, who is the middle linebacker. And he's going to be kicking himself because if he'd managed to hold on to that prediction we were making a minute ago might have come true.
Mayu Olo has a pretty good foot, the Lancer kicker. Not sure he could put one in from 50 yards out, though.
Well, especially not if he's going to be going from that right hash mark.
Right, that's... So a third down and 10, 34.6 seconds to go here in the half. Plenty of time for the Lancers to get the ball down there. Vettel, and then the handoff to Page, and he's coming around the outside. He just needs a man to beat, cuts back to the inside, and down at the 5-yard line is Darrell Page. He is brought down inbounds. He is at the 5-yard line. They'll spot it. Another great run by Darrell Page.
A little bit of a hesitation there, but he does get the handoff off. The cornerbacks were playing off the ball there. I think they were expecting one of those 4 wide receivers to be getting a toss. They had no way of knowing that was what was coming, and they really should have, because they've keyed on to Page all night long, and Page got away with one on there.
And with that, the Lancers take their last timeout of the first half. So a break in the action, 25 seconds to go in the first half, 10-6 St. Francis. So the Lancers come to the line of scrimmage, 25 seconds left in the first half. They are first and goal. They actually have it at the 4-yard line. First and goal at the 4. The Lancers have no timeouts remaining, so if they don't get in, it's going to have to hustle. They're back to their I formation. Page is the tailback. 3-step drop, a drift into the end zone, caught for the touchdown by the Lancers. A nice play there by Evan Williams at wide receiver as a quick 3-step drop and a little fade into the end zone. A little drift, and there is the catch made for the touchdown.
I don't think they could have planned that any better if they'd sat down with the Bellarmine defense and scripted the whole thing out. Great protection, great timing. They knew exactly what they were up to, and they're going to go into the locker room feeling pretty good about themselves.
16-6 at the moment. Mayu Olo on the field for the extra point. Snap, spot, kick is up, and the kick is good. So another break in the action, 21 seconds to go here in the first half, and the Lancers have pushed out to a 17-6 lead. kick is high and into the end zone for the automatic touchback. And I'm going to get another email from Mrs. Cleaver.
I think you might get Wally mad at you too
Wally
this time.
Stern lecture from Ward.
Well, I'll tell you who's going to be handing out stern lectures is going to be the Bellarmine coaches, because they were probably expecting they would be able to hang around a little bit more. I think it's Michael Janda is their head coach.
Mike Janda, yeah, he's been there for years.
He's going to have a lot to say, especially this offense.
So looks like they may just take a knee here and get to halftime, and that's exactly what they're going to do. As the bells come out and Jack Devine takes a knee, the clock will run as the Lancers have no timeouts, nor would they care to take one. We are at halftime with St. Francis in the lead, 17-6. Halftime just winding down here at St. Francis High School. We want to show you a little bit of a package of some of the highlights from the first half for you to take a look at.
Well, really the story of the first half, it seems to me, Paul, is how effective the St. Francis offense has been in contrast to what Bellarmine's been able to carry off. I mean, Darryl Page, 11 carries for 96 yards. Reed Vittel is 7 of 10 for 93 yards, and he's passed for those 2 touchdowns, whereas the running game for the Bells has been pretty well bottled up. I mean, their biggest gainer has been Ajake, and he's 6 for 26 carries, 26 yards. That's all they've gotten.
Yeah, but they did get that one nice flat pass out there, the blind screen that went for the touchdown. A nicely conceived play that briefly put them into the lead, and then the Lancers just came roaring back with a couple of touchdown passes. Here's, I think, this might be the interception after the timeout.
Yeah, that's the pick.
Yeah. And we kind of talked about it at halftime. We were talking amongst ourselves about the timeout that was taken, and should they have taken that timeout? This was a heck of a run by Page.
Yeah, that may be one that timeout when they're deep in their territory. That may be one that they'll be thinking about for the rest of the fall.
Yeah.
So that may be one that they may not want to remember after this is all over. But I think that's going to be the story of the second half, is really whether Bellarmine is going to be able to recoup and whether they're going to have the flexibility in their offense, because it's clear that their running game isn't 100% what it should be.
Well, and they need to go ahead and get onto the on the scoreboard as soon as they can.
Yeah. KMVT Sports is brought to you with help from our sponsor, Altos Mobile Massage. Massage has been proven to reduce stress and improve well-being. Healthier and happier employees do better work. Altos Mobile Massage brings the massage to you. Sometimes a little pressure is a good thing.
So a break in the action for right now. We'll be right back with the second half with the Lancers in the lead, 17-6.
We're a mobile massage company, and we bring massage therapy and yoga to the corporate workplace. We started this business in order to bring more awareness to corporations for health and wellness. This is a nice perk that they can offer their employees, and it says, hey, we care about your well-being. We look forward to bringing massage therapy and yoga into your corporate workplace.
Shot of the Bellarmine cheering section trying to rally their troops in a big opening series here for the Bells, as they'll be on defense and they need to shut the Lancers down and then come back and score.
Now, they may be rethinking that decision to defer at this point.
Another squib kick as is the want for the Bells, and it's going to give good field position. Well, conceivably good field position for the Lancers. That's once again.
I think conceivable field position is the best kind, isn't it?
Malik Johnson was up to about the 28 and then backpedaled and went the other way and lost yardage on it down inside the 20-yard line, down to about the 17. So they'll put it right at the 20. I'm sorry. I was watching the wrong official. They've spotted it at the 20. So first down for the Lancers at their own 20-yard line.
Well, maybe Bellarmine has found, a weapon there, because in their kicking game, if they can continue to do those squibs and at least throw off the Lancers, of course, they have to kick the ball off, which means that they have to score.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Give to Page, and nothing doing as he's brought down almost immediately is Darrell Page. It looks like it's he just got back to the line of scrimmage. So it'll bring up a second down and 10 for St. Francis. Just underway here in the second half.
Well, they're continuing to key in on Darrell Page. That worked for part of the first half, but not all of it. So we're going to see how responsive the Bells can be throughout the rest of this contest.
It's a big defensive set for the Bells to get themselves back into the ball game. Vettel throws out into the flat. It is complete to Sebastian Carrillo, and Carrillo is hit hard. And a flag comes in as Carrillo is slow to get up. He is hit at about the 28-yard line. Another look at it.
Yeah, we're going to need to see that one again, because that one was a really hard hit. The thing that I noticed about that is that the cornerbacks were playing off the ball a long way. So, and boom,
he did come right into the helmet. He did come right in.
That was Brandon Blumenlag, I believe.
Did. He threw his shoulder right into the helmet. So this is a good call by the officials. And it's a 15-yard personal foul.
And the Lancers are eating it up with a spoon, Paul.
Absolutely. Takes it out to the 44-yard line.
I'm surprised that the cornerbacks are playing that far off the line, because they're giving the Lancers a lot of room to maneuver.
Page tries to get to the outside. Now he's going to come back, and he's got some room. He's just going to try to turn the corner. He puts up a stop sign and then starts to go again, gets over midfield or right around midfield.
Yeah, I think he may have thought he was out of bounds, and I can't say as I blame him. But he was brought down by big Jonathan Hale there, a senior at 6'3" and 230, and that is a mismatch if you are Darrell Page.
You'll see him come to an absolute stop. It's like, hi, guys.
Yeah, I think he had about 4 or 5 inches, but he figured he was out.
And another penalty flag and another penalty against the Bells.
I didn't see what the infraction was,
did you? See it. I'm waiting for the referee to give it was a block below the knees again. And it's against the Bells, so that takes it down inside the 35 to the 34-yard line.
And this is the Bellarmine team just forming a circular firing squad right now. I mean, they're really not executing at all on defense, and that's exactly what they didn't want to do if they want to stay in this game. They've got to not only stop the Lancers, but then they got to turn around and put some points on the board.
Vettel to pass, has time, throws down the middle of the field, has a man. It is incomplete as it pops out, intended for Ryan Higgins, and Higgins unable to come up with it. Good defense by the Bells.
Anthony Magri was one of the people there on the stop there, playing the free safety position. No contact, really excellent coverage, and just not a good execution, although I think at that point Tyson Garcia might have been there just to knock the ball away. In any case, the Lancers are back at it.
So a second down and 10 for St. Francis. High formation, one receiver left, one right. Give to Page. Page tries to kick it to the outside, now turns upfield and gets down close to the 30-yard line. Looks like they'll spot it at the 31-yard line.
Gain of about 3 on that one, Paul.
So it'll be a third down and 7 for St. Francis.
And I haven't been keeping track of how good the Lancers have been on third down conversions,
I haven't either. We'll base our trend on this play.
Well, I'll be asking Santa Claus for an analyst for next year.
There you go. Give to Page. Page is brought down behind the line of scrimmage. Great penetration by the Bellarmine defense, as it'll bring up a 4th down and 9 for the Lancers. And they may just go for it here, as it's kind of in that no man's land where you don't really want to punt.
That was
and it's too long.
Yeah, that was Noah Lane on the stop there. And he's been playing cornerback, but he might as well have been a linebacker or an edge rusher on that one.
So a 4th down and 9. The Lancers are going to go for it. The ball is spotted on the Bellarmine 33-yard line.
And if they can convert on this one or get into the end zone on this drive, Paul, they would have blown this game wide open.
And conversely, if the Bells can stop them here, they can pull themselves right back into this ball game.
Right you are.
Oh, and a movement off. Illegal procedure by the Lancers. As that'll back it up 5 more yards.
And I think that might have been on the wide receiver on the far side there. Did you see that?
Yes, he just took off far too early. And this will now allow the Lancers to punt the ball, as it'll back it up 5 yards, put it on the 38-yard line.
I like the way you said that, Paul. You say, allow them to punt the ball.
Well,
okay.
4th and 9. I mean, they may be able to play a little field position war here. And
I was thinking force them to punt would probably be.
They have the decision now that it's an easier decision to make. It's like, yeah, okay, let's punt.
Yeah.
Punt is away. It's a pooch kick. And it's going to be a good one for the Lancers, and will allow them to play good field position, as it's inside the 10, down to around the 8-yard line. So maybe the penalty did come back to help them a little bit, as the Bells will set up shop 1st and 10 at their own 8-yard line.
So good things do happen in the St. Francis kicking game.
Yeah. I would have to say they're winning the special teams war tonight, and that might be the key to the game, is the field position that is. The Lancers have had a couple of opportunities with outstanding field position, and the Bells seem to be starting most of their drives deep in their own territory at the 20 or even less.
Well, this is where we're going to find out what the Bellarmine offense is really made of, and whether or not they can deal with the adversity of being down 11 points to the St. Francis Lancers.
Devine out of the shotgun. The give. Fighting for yardage and swarming Lancer defense. It looks like maybe got back to the line of scrimmage.
Not much more.
As they unpile the bodies, and JK was the ball carrier. JK.
I don't know that the center blocked anybody. There was a lot of pressure.
So it'll be a 2nd down and 10.
Down, the duck was there.
Wouldn't you just love to put a pedometer on Jack Devine, though, and see how much running he's been doing just back and forth from the sidelines?
Yeah. They could almost, probably on weekends, run for the cross-country team.
Well, I'm thinking he might be on the track team now.
Good enough shape. Both quarterbacks are doing that. Devine near his own end zone and now tries to get away. Pitches out. Nice play. As he spontaneously pushes it out to Boomenlog, and Boomenlog gets out, picks up some positive yardage.
I think we used to call that a shovel pass back in the old country. With a gain of 6. So
nice play.
Devine's versatility there was really impressive. I mean, it looked like he was going to be buried, and then he saw an opportunity there, and he took it.
Some good heads-up thinking by Devine.
And Boomenlog picked up a few yards, so that turns what would have been a very difficult 3rd down into one that's a lot more manageable for the Bells.
3rd down and 4 for Bellarmine. The run, and out over the 15-yard line, but nothing more. As the ball carrier was JK. out of the Wildcat. And it brings up a 4th and 1, and wisely Bellarmine is going to punt it away, or appears to be punting it away.
Yeah, that looks like a punt formation for them. Although, to be fair, I mean, they're going to have a better chance at backing St. Francis up than they would have if Devine hadn't come up with that shovel pass.
High snap again. The punt is away. Nice punt is going to drive Wilmer back and take a Bellarmine hop. A very nice punt. That is going to be down at the 27-yard line of the Bells. They'll set up shop in their own territory, but a very, for the Lancers.
And that's
very
about
nice
it.
Punt.
That's about as good as you can get under those circumstances. So it was what we used to call in teaching a good mistake.
So 1st down and 10 for St. Francis at their 27-yard line.
They don't have any wide receivers in. They got their big pack.
You can see, or you can hear, we can hear all the way across the field that the Lancer fans are just getting into this. I mean, they are loving this contest. As well they should.
Strong formation for the Lancers to give to the fullback, and up the middle he goes. The scrum continues and then finally collapses at about the 32-yard line, maybe 31. We'll see exactly where they spot it. They will put it at the 32.
Was that Chris Smith who got the handoff there?
I believe. I didn't catch the...
or Nick Robinson.
It happened so quick. Could be Nick Robinson.
Okay.
Pick up a 5 on the play. 2nd down and 5 for the Lancers. Page is a tailback. The give to Page. Page, nice, quick hit through the middle. Tries to break through one tackle. He's now out in the open. He's at the 30, the 20, the 15, a straight arm, and he's dragged down inside the 10-yard line. A great quick hit by Darrell Page to get through that initial defensive line of the Bells. Another look at it.
Again, coming out of nowhere right through the line and doing a little bit of dancing moves, and he is off to the races. If it hadn't been for that last defender, I think that might have been Tyson Garcia that finally dragged him down. That's another 6 for the Lancers, and that would, as I said earlier, that would have blown the game wide open. And if I'm not mistaken, we have a player down on the field, Paul.
Page is down. It looks like he cramped up at the end of the play, at least the way he was grabbing the toes of his shoes, pulling him back, which is the universal sign for he's got a cramp.
Oh, my goodness.
And so they're working on him right now. I don't think it's anything more serious than that, and he is up, and they are taking him off the field. He's walking under his own power. He just cramped up at the end of that run.
Well, that's a lucky break there for the Lancers, because if they lose Darrell Page, their offense just became a whole lot more unidimensional.
Exactly. So a 1st down and goal for the Lancers. The ball is at the 8-yard line of Bellarmine, and the Bells defense really needs to stiffen up here, or as you pointed out earlier, Mike, this is going to become a potential blowout. The give up the middle, fighting for yardage. I believe that was Nicholas Robinson.
I'm not sure he got anything on that carry.
Was Robinson. Robinson got down maybe
he picked
to
up
the
2.
6. Pick up a 2, okay. 2nd and goal from the 6.
Well, the other thing I worry about with this Bellarmine defense, Paul, is that they've been on the field a long time.
They have.
I really haven't been keeping track of the time of possession, but it just seems that they've been just on the field a lot of this game, and fatigue is going to become a factor as we go on.
Well, and then when you look at the fact that they've got some of their offensive players playing defense too. Throw tipped. Nice defense by the Bells as Lancers had a receiver open, and that ball was tipped away.
And that was a bullet that they had coming through there. Quick pass and some very quick movement by those receivers. So Bellarmine dodged a bullet on that one in more ways than one.
Yes, so it brings up a 3rd and goal from the 6.
Yeah, hey, you got to get Moncrief out of the end zone.
As
He's about 3 yards into the end zone.
The Lancers break the huddle, see what they come out, and they come out an I formation. Andrew Ghetto is in as the tailback.
Jam the tight end, don't let him get off.
2 wide receivers.
And flags fly as I think the Lancers might have jumped. I think it might be against St. Francis. And
I believe it is, but I wonder, was that a false start or did they take too much time?
No, it was a false start.
Okay.
It was. So 3rd and goal from the 11. That will certainly make for a different play call, I'm sure, from Coach Greg Calcagno.
What would Coach Callahan do under these circumstances?
I would pass. He would pass. And
Well, they got the same one wide to the left, one wide to the right.
Didn't go out of the shotgun, though. So 3-step drop, a drift towards the end zone, adjusting well inside the end zone, and making the catch is Evan Williams.
Touchdown, St. Francis. They have done it again.
Second time for Evan Williams, and he had almost identical to what he did before.
Again, it looks like it's a well-rehearsed play, and that cornerback, unfortunately, he was playing off the ball, tried to strip it at the very end, but by that time the damage had been done. Great reception there by the Lancers, and they've blown this game wide open just like I predicted they would.
It's kind of like Evan Williams just runs the drift, getting the defender to come with him, knowing that the pass is going to be short, and then he's just going to come back and get it. Let the defender keep going. So an extra point attempt for the Lancers. It's a 23-6 game at the moment. Snap, spot, kick is up, and the kick is good. So a break in the action, 3 minutes and 40 seconds to go here in the 3rd quarter. It is 24-6 St. Francis. Another look at it, Mike.
Just lofted that pass into the corner, and again, one step was all that the receiver needed to grab that one. Desperate attempt to get a strip there by Tyson Garcia, but it didn't pay off. And the Lancers have really jumped out to a big lead on this. So Bellarmine's under the gun now.
As we're just about ready, the football made its way to the kicker. Some of these officials are aging and a little out of shape, so it takes them a little while longer to get the ball out to the midfield line.
Well, either that or it's a very heavy ball.
Well, yeah, that could be too. These officials probably sleep very well the next day after a game. A little winded. Kick is deep and will be taken at the 4-yard line. Trying to break through. Good return. Getting out over the 25 to the 28-yard line. That is Tyson Garcia. See where they spot it exactly. Looks like they will put it at the 28. First down and 10 for the Bells.
You know, Paul, I think that might be the first kickoff that's been returned by Bellarmine tonight.
It is, yeah.
So it's a shame we haven't seen more of that, but you did say that special teams may be the key to this game.
Well, so far it seems to have a big effect on the field position. Though on this one, the Bells have some decent field position here to start their drive.
Let's see what they can do with it.
The fake and the keep by Devine as he faked it to JK and took it himself. Picked up some good positive yardage. Did Jack Devine. Pickup of about 7 on the play. It'll be a 2nd down and 3 for the Bells. Actually 2nd and 4.
But they're going to have to build on that now. They're going to have to get that next first down and then see if they can get into the end zone. If they have to turn the ball back over to the Lancers, I think all bets may be off.
But even at 5 or 6 yards of play, there's not enough time left in the game for them to get back into this ball game by simply running the ball.
No, they're going to have to get some luck too.
Right, a JK picks up maybe a yard. It'll bring up a 3rd down and 3, and the clock continues to run. As there's 2.5 minutes to go here in the 3rd quarter. See if they put the ball up in the air here, or if they're content to run it.
Well, time management is going to be more of an issue as we go on. I think they could probably afford to run a little bit more if they can get the positive yards.
A little bit, but down 18 late in the third quarter against the Lancers, who are playing pretty good offense, that's a tough comeback. Now they're looking at it. Devine sets up a screen over the middle, and it's almost intercepted by the Lancers, in and out of the hands of Garcia.
Yep, and that one, if I'm not mistaken, that might have been either Tyler McCabe or Hulu Awoya, who just was in the wrong place at the wrong time, but that would have almost sealed the fate of Bellarmine if that had been actually picked off.
So fourth down, a punting situation for Bellarmine. Their punter, Casey Jabe, is out there.
Interesting. I think their strategy might be, let's see if we can push the Lancers back and then hope for a turnover.
You got to hope for a turnover now. High snap, punt is away, a good punt. Wilmer takes it at the 25. Now backpedals. And now tries to get to the outside. Flags flying everywhere. It's almost Flag Day.
I think there's going to be a clipping penalty on that, Paul.
Well, either way, it's going to back it up and push the Lancers deep into their own territory.
The team that lives by the special teams shall die by the special teams. I think we're seeing that proven tonight, aren't we?
Exactly.
So I don't know if our viewers can see that, but it was a block in the back against the Lancers.
So they are backing it up. It looks like it'll be placed at the 22-yard line of St. Francis, where they will set up shop.
I've continued to notice that the Bellarmine Center is giving these really high snaps, and I don't know if they have a separate long snapper for punting situations, but they've been just high snaps all night long.
Oh, you're right.
And it's ridiculous to say that's been the key to this game, but it's something I've certainly noticed.
Darrell Page is back in the game. They'll give to the fullback, and good yardage as he continues to drive downfield. It's Nicholas Robinson, and Robinson is over midfield and down to about the 46-yard line of Bellarmine. So a great first down play for the Lancers, and I think we're starting to see some of the fatigue in the Bellarmine defense.
Well, I mean, Nicholas Robinson has the size, so he's difficult to tackle in the first place. I mean, he's 6 feet tall, weighs 206 pounds, and with that kind of speed, I mean, you're talking about the irresistible force.
Another look.
Let's take a look at that again. Okay, hand to the fullback. Again, perfect job by the St. Francis offensive line. And then that speed plus that bulk, he's going to be a very tough stop.
Vettel throws out into the flat, complete. And Jack Perry on the catch, gets it down inside the 30-yard line. Another first down for St. Francis as they're down to the 28-yard line of the Bells.
And the Lancers just are not letting up. I mean, they are using the run to set up the pass. They're doing that very effectively. And if you take a look at the Bellarmine defense, I don't think they really have any solutions, and I think they are beginning to run a little bit low on gas at this part of the game.
Under a minute to go here in the third quarter. Lancers come out I formation, two receivers to the left. The give to Page. Page slips and is down. Not sure if he picked up anything on the play.
Does not appear that he did, and I'm not sure, but that the Lancers might just want to run this one out.
On this, yeah, they won't take another snap here in the third quarter. Lancers are very good at going back to when Coach Greg Calcagno's father, Coach Ron Calcagno, used to love to put on 8-9 minute drives and just let the clock run. And that's exactly what Greg is doing here as Coach Calcagno pulls the Lancers aside, and that will do it for the third quarter of play. 3 in the books. The Lancers in the lead 24-6. Shot of the rage cage for the Lancers again. Kind of quiet right now considering they're in the lead, but maybe they're winded too from cheering so much. 24-6 lead for the Lancers as we start the fourth quarter of play. Lancers set up shop there inside Bellarmine territory at the 28-yard line. It is 2nd down and 10 for St. Francis.
You were talking about Coach Greg Calcagno, and I remember his father, Ron. I did sports camp here a number of years.
Right.
He's quite a guy.
He is.
And just a football genius, and has given his life to this high school, and God bless him.
My senior year here was his first year as the head football coach.
No fooling.
Yeah. Give to Andrighetto, and Andrighetto fights, stays in bounds, fights towards the end zone. They're going to rule he stepped out right around the 7-yard line or 8-yard line. So it'll be 1st down and goal for St. Francis at the 8. Another look at it.
I think that says as much about the condition of the Bellarmine defense right now as it does about the versatility and the drive of Andrighetto, because the Bells just don't have an answer right now. And I think they're feeling tired, and I think they're probably feeling a little dispirited right now.
1st down and goal for St. Francis at the 8-yard line. Blitz and vaulting over the blitz. And Andrighetto dives for the end zone, and in he goes. And he couldn't get into the play before, and he was not going to be denied as Andrighetto takes it in. Another look.
Boy, this is going to be a game that he is going to remember for a long, long time. Lucas Andrighetto, senior, missed maybe the last time he ever plays against Bellarmine. And he wanted to make a statement, and boy, did he ever.
Lancers on for the extra point. Snap, spot, kick is up, and the kick is good. A break in the action. 11 minutes and 45 seconds to go in this ball game. St. Francis has a 31-6 lead. Shot of the Lancer band, blowing those instruments with all they've got on this chilly autumn night.
But with some warm spirits on that side of the field, Paul. No doubt about that.
Very warm spirits. Mayuolo to kick off for the Lancers. He's been putting it into the end zone fairly consistently, though on the last kick, the Bells were able to get a return out of it, and it was a good return by Tyson Garcia. This kick is into the end zone for the touchback. So Bellarmine will get the ball 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line.
Probably makes sense. You don't want to give Bellarmine any chance to get even a toehold back into this game, never mind a foothold. And now this, Paul, is where time management is really going to become a factor, because we're now in the fourth quarter. We're going to be down to about 10 minutes left in the game, and they're going to have to use the clock. Both sides are going to have to use the clock to their advantage. We're going to see which team does it better. St. Francis has a huge advantage, but don't count the Bells out.
Give to the running back and a pickup of maybe 3 yards.
Good effort on that run there.
We'll say 4 yards, actually. So a 2nd down and 6 for Bellarmine. JK was the ball carrier. So it's going to take a combination of Bellarmine scoring quickly, and the Lancers are going to have to turn the ball over a couple of times for the Bells to pull this one out. And a bobble of the ball by the Bells, that's certainly not going to help the cause as it takes it back to the 19-yard line. It'll bring up a 3rd down and 11.
Yeah, the Bells have really got to take a deep breath at this point, because this is gut check time. And some of that is out of their control. You're absolutely right. But if they want to maintain the level of at least offensive productivity and just the numbers at this point, they can't afford to make mistakes like that. And once again from the shotgun. Very interesting.
Well, they got to move it quick now. Pass over the middle is incomplete. It was intended for Nick Geron. And brings up a 4th down and a punting situation for the Bells. So once more a 3 and out. And I would think from here on for the Lancers, you'll simply see them run the ball and keep that clock going.
Yeah, I can't think of any other strategy that they'd use at this point. Frustrating night for Bellarmine fans and for the Bellarmine team. They just haven't found a good offensive rhythm. And some defensive schemes that the Lancers were all too prepared for.
Punt, fair catch called for, and then lets it drop, and out of bounds it goes. It'll be St. Francis ball at their own 36-yard line. So the Lancers will bring it out, and we'll see what they do, even see if we start to see maybe some fresh uniforms eventually coming out here for the Lancers too.
Well, I would hope so. You know, we were talking about this earlier, Paul, that in this series, okay, which we're pointing at, you know, the better part of 6 decades, St. Francis has won 28 of these games. Bellarmine has won 42. But if things keep going like they are, St. Francis is going to be able to notch up another victory.
They've closed the gap, because certainly Bellarmine early on, back in the 50s and 60s, really pretty regularly beat up the Lancers.
I don't think the Lancer fans have forgotten that, and I don't think they've forgiven
the
that.
old ones probably. A lot.
Well, you said it, partner. I didn't.
Give to the fullback, and good job by the Bellarmine defense to go ahead and shut that down, as the ball carrier was Nicholas Robinson. And he picked up a couple of yards. It'll be a 2nd down and 8.
I'm wondering how much frustration's being set in with the Bellarmine defense, because just the way that they disengaged from that tackle, you got to think that they're about fed up.
Well, they got a lot of pride. I mean, this is a well-coached ball team, and it's a school with a lot of tradition, and they don't take kindly to things like that. 3-step drop complete out in the flat. And a 1st down. That is Sebastian Carrillo. And Carrillo out of bounds right around the 50-yard line.
The adjustment that I thought the Bells would make on this, they have not made. They've been playing corners off the ball. Not a whole lot of press coverage, at least on the left side of the plays. And it has allowed the St. Francis receivers to make those gains that have added up into the lead that we're seeing right now.
So 1st and 10 for the Lancers right at midfield. Give to Page. Page works it to the outside. Up the field he goes, and out of bounds, and an injured Bell on the field. It is Dylan Andrews, I believe, who is down and in some considerable pain with his knees. So we've got a break in the action. 9 minutes, 11 seconds to go here in the ball game. It is 31-6 St. Francis. Let her look at the play.
That was Dylan Andrews who went down there for Bellarmine. I don't know if we had a focus on that one. Okay. There was also an injured Lancer.
Yeah, he got right back. He popped right back up, though. So here's some highlights here of Andrew Ghetto going down the field.
That was that last score by the Lancers there, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, right there it is.
Mm-hmm.
And the Lancers coming out to the line of scrimmage. Now as they've got a 2nd down and 6. The give to Page. Page picks up a yard.
But the Lancers are staying with their ground game, just like you predicted, Paul.
Yeah, at this point, you just start grinding away and keep that clock moving. And it's down to 8 minutes and 50 seconds now to go in the ball game. It's actually a 3rd and 4 for the Lancers. Reed Vittel under center. Give to the up back, and a nice job by the Bells on a late in. Here's a late flag coming in, but it was a blitz up the middle that really shut that play down.
Yeah, there was a linebacker coming in, but I didn't see who it was.
And it looks like they're going to pick up the flag and march off 5 yards. Face mask against the Bells. So that'll be a first down for the Lancers at the 39-yard line of Bellarmine. They'll crank the clock, and the Lancers will take their time getting the play even in from the sideline as Coach Calcagno gives it to Reed Vittel.
And that's another sign of frustration on the side of the Bells. I mean, that you don't make those kinds of mistakes when you have all of your wits about you. And in the fourth quarter, in a losing effort, at the end of a lot of hard hits, you can't blame Bellarmine for sometimes making a mental error like that.
Page to the outside, has room to roam, and he is tackled right around the 25-yard line, maybe the 26, or it'll be another first down for St. Francis. Clock continues to run, 7:40 to go in the game.
We're going to see what formation they're doing at this time. No, still going with a 2 wide receiver set.
Give to Page. Page breaks through and is wrestled to the ground and about the 16-yard line. Another look.
That may bring up a 2nd and short. So once again to Page. And although Bellarmine may have been expecting that, they're not able to stop Page at this particular point.
2nd down and 1 for St. Francis.
We're under 7 minutes now, Paul.
Yeah, they're very, very methodical here. They'll just take their time and let that clock run. Nothing doing on that play.
That was nice coverage there by Bellarmine. I don't think that was a good read. Let's see that once again. Okay, and that time that handoff was to
Thomas Whiteknight.
Yes, you're right.
First time we've called his name tonight, so the Lancers getting some other players into the ball game.
Makes sense. Whiteknight's a junior, so he probably wants to get a little bit of action as well, and he got it.
Indeed. Third and 3 now for the Lancers. 5:50 to go in the game. And the Bells jump.
Yep. We saw we saw a blitz on that a long way off. And wait a minute. No, I believe it was the Lancers who jumped, Paul.
Wow, I did not see that. All right, that'll back it up 5 yards.
Yep, you can see that linebacker was running away saying, hey, wait a minute, we were drawn, we were drawn.
So it'll bring up a 3rd down and 8 for the Lancers. The ball is spotted at the 23-yard line.
So fatigue tends to work both ways. I mean, if you're at the end of a game, not as focused as you once were.
Good point.
I wonder if they lose grade points in their football class for a penalty.
Give to Page. Page is looking for a first down. And a flag comes flying in behind. He's got the first down and more out close to the 10-yard line, but it's going to be a penalty against St. Francis.
And that's going to bring it back, although I would think that Page may have been looking for another 6 points.
Yeah, he was fighting hard. Another look.
So I'm not sure what the infraction was here, but there's the give to Page. Good penetration there by the Bellarmine defense. He's stiff-arming at least one person there, gets around another tackle. He's turned the corner by that time, and he came actually very close to breaking through. I didn't see what the infraction was, but it is indeed going to back it up a little bit further.
So it'll take it back to the 29-yard line. It is going to be a 3rd down and 14. They will once again crank the clock as we drop down under 5 minutes to go in the ball game. And again, the Lancers will take their time as Coach Calcagno waited for the official to blow the ball in even before giving the play to Reed Vettel.
Yeah, I'm not sure they're too worried about penalties at this point.
No, they're just willing to let that clock run and get this game over with as soon as they can. Pitch out to Page. Page in trouble. Page getting out of trouble. Page in trouble again. And out of bounds he goes. Might have gotten a yard on it.
This might be just the Darrell Page story. That really has been.
It's got a ring to it.
Well, he's going to be getting the game ball after all this. I can guarantee you that. But boy, I mean, he almost had a loss of about 10 yards on that play.
Yeah, he ran probably about 40 yards to pick up a yard and make it a 4th down and 18.
I don't know about you, Paul, but this would probably be a time where the Bells are just thinking they need to maintain their dignity and to do what they can to slow down the St. Francis offense, because at this point I don't think they can stop it.
Well, they're going for it here on 4th down as
interesting.
The clock continues to run, and now it stops for
a timeout.
A timeout apparently called by St. Francis. So a break in the action, 3:42 to go in the ball game. It is 31-6 St. Francis. So the Lancers punted away, and it is fair caught at the 8-yard lines. So the Lancers called timeout just simply to get their punt team out there and came right back out onto the field.
That was Austin Ajake who caught the punt. It was a fair catch. We've just been told that Darrell Page tonight, Paul, has picked up 189 yards.
That'd be a good night.
Yep, game ball recipient, I would say. And I think this is homecoming weekend for the Lancers. So.
Oh, wow. Nice home, yeah.
Yeah, so what a way to celebrate, huh?
I would think so, yes, absolutely.
Yeah, he will be fun to watch because Darrell Page is only a junior, so he'll be back again next year.
Certainly making an impression. JK, the ball carrier, gets out over the 10. Pickup of a couple of yards. It'll be 2nd down and 8, 3 minutes and 15 seconds to go in the ball game as the Lancers sent in a host of substitutes on defense.
Well, the Bellarmine offense is made up of a lot of defensive players as well, as is the St. Francis squad. So I don't know how much fuel is left in the tank on either side.
Give to the outside. A flag is down.
That was behind the runner, Paul, so I'm really not sure what was going on there.
Ball carrier was Austin Ajake. Another look at it.
Okay, well, an end run. Oh, I think there may have been a hold there.
On 4, yeah.
Another sign of frustration, I think, on the part of the Bells. And if you can see them, they're walking back. I mean, Their hearts have just got to be in their toes right now.
So a penalty half the distance to the goal. Brings up a second down and 13. 2.5 minutes to go in the game as the clock continues to run. As I think both teams now are content to go ahead and let time expire.
Well, if not content, I think they're just realizing that it's inevitable.
Yeah, well, exactly, yes. Deep throw downfield as one last gasp, and a flag does come out.
I think that may be a DPI right there.
Noah Lane asked for the flag to be thrown, and that wish was granted. Let her look.
Take a look at it. Okay, yeah, last gasp. Okay, almost a Hail Mary pass there, which is appropriate given these two schools. And just a little bit of contact at the very end. And I'm not sure who is that. That may have been Benjamin Sprouse who had the contact there on the Lancers.
So the penalty is marched off from the line of scrimmage, which will bring it out to the 22-yard line.
Now,
so it'll be first down and 10.
That's interesting. I thought they'd march it off from the spot of the foul.
Yeah, no, it's from, they go back. Yeah, no.
Well, anyway.
So first down for Bellarmine.
I wonder if they're going to try that kind of pass again. I don't think
Why
they have
not?
anything to lose.
What the heck? Run to the outside by Lane. Lane able to turn the corner and pick up some yardage. Gets out over the 25-yard line. Clock is under 2 minutes now.
Both teams have all of their timeouts for what it's worth.
Yeah, I would hope we don't see any timeouts from here on.
No, I don't see any reason for either side to
Actually, the Lancers took one. They should have one off the board.
No,
they
I
took
think
one to get their punt team in.
No.
So I just think the scoreboard guy keeping track is probably he's probably a little tired and winded too from running the clock. Run by the Bells, and a whistle blows the play dead. So scrum came to an end. It's a first down for Bellarmine.
So they're going to move the chains.
A JK, the ball carrier. Minute 25 to go in the game.
Now, Bellarmine may just want to get into double digits at this point.
Devine out of the shotgun. Devine's going to take it himself, try to get to the outside. He's got some room to roam, and then he's brought down by gravity as slips on the turf there, and down he goes under a minute to go in the ball game. And Devine is a little bit slow to get up and has not gotten up yet. So Jack Devine is going to be checked on as he went down. A break in the action, 57.5 seconds to go in the game, 31-6 St. Francis.
We're a mobile massage company, and we bring massage therapy and yoga to the corporate workplace. We started this business in order to bring more awareness to corporations for health and wellness. This is a nice perk that they can offer their employees, and it says, hey, we care about your well-being. We look forward to bringing massage therapy and yoga into your corporate workplace.
Shot of the Lancer band there. As good news, Jack Devine was able to get up and come off the field on his own power.
And that's Harry Mingroni who's coming back into coming into the game for the Bells, so he'll probably be riding it the rest of the way.
I would certainly think so, as we're down to 45 seconds. Clock continues to run. Out of the shotgun. The handoff, and nothing doing as the Lancers swarm over. And that might potentially be the last play of the ball game, as this late you don't want to get anybody hurt, and I'm sure the Bells are content to pack up and head out of here. The ball carrier.
Well, no, here he comes again. Here's Harry Mingrone.
Okay.
So they may try one more. for whatever it's worth, but I'll bet you we're going to see a Hail Mary pass.
Jared Bush was the ball carrier on the last play. We'll see what the Bells do here. They got a tight formation. And McGraw will take it himself, and he'll be tackled from behind. Gets the first down, gets out over the 45 with 0.4 of a second to go in the ball game. And once they set the sticks, they will start the clock again, and they have already started it, and that's the ball game as St. Francis has come away with a 31-6 convincing victory over Bellarmine, and a great ball game it was, Mike. It was well played by the Lancers.
Well, it was a lot of fun to watch. Obviously, these teams came well prepared. They came in with a lot of confidence. They respect each other. But at the end of the day, the Lancers were just too strong. They had a better offense. They had a better defensive scheme. They were the better team tonight.
And here's some quick highlights I think we want to show prior to breaking away.
We're going to see that. All right.
Some second half highlights.
Yep, and that may be just the classic play of the game, is that lofted pass over to the left side, out of the reach of any possible defenders. And then there's that run by the man himself, Darryl Page, who picked up almost 200 yards tonight. And he's going to be around for another year, and St. Francis is just going to love having him around, I'll tell you. There's a pass out to the flat and managed to escape, and boom, that was the hit. That may have been the hit of the night for Bellarmine, and there were all too few of those for the Bells. And then that score that we had by
Andrighetto.
Andrighetto, that's right.
And there's your victory sign up there for the Lancers, 31-6. We would like to thank our producer, Renee Antonio Mendoza. Tyler Wiest, our director. Replay, Sarah Connor Bennett. Luis Costa on graphics.
That's an inside joke, viewers.
Camera, Tim Erskine. Abe Mills on camera. She's the Terminator, too. Desiree Guerrero.
Yeah, they didn't miss
camera.
a thing. What a crew.
And Orlando Montez on camera. Special thanks to St. Francis High School for allowing us to bring you this game tonight. For all of us here at KMVT, for my partner Mike Messner, I'm Paul Cunningham. We will see you next time.